Well, now once again we see the religion of peace at its very best. One more violent rape by the fabled Asian man. That's media talk for Muslim in Newcastle, which at first the local press did not cover until reminded by a senior patriot what the consequences of ignoring the rape and the reporting of it would mean. It took them upwards about 30 minutes, and then the rape was posted up and reported upon. 3 of those fabled Asians, once again media talk, attacked a child in the Bradford area, kicking a child several times in the head amongst other blows. A gang of 7 Muslims charged with the rape of a 13-year-old in the park in Walthamstow. Andrew Chowdhury, once again up to his old tricks, bullying a police officer for wearing a Health for Heroes wristband. Now that in itself is bad enough, but what happened next beggars belief. The copper capitulated and removed the wristband. Sham marriages were uncovered and fortunately prevented in Newcastle and Gretna Green. And these pricks whose wives have buggered off with their kids to join ISIS now claim the British authorities are to blame. Police hunting for an Asian stroke Muslim man who sexually harassed and assaulted 4 women on a bus in Hounslow. Human Rights uses an excuse for not wearing a tag because the terrorist thinks MI5 may have planted the bomb in it. An Asian MP wants to know why we don't hear white people apologising for what she says are racist attacks against black and brown people. You could not make this stuff up, yet these are daily occurrences all over the United Kingdom. Muslims called Asians to try and muddy the waters and make them look like the victims. Our cowardly media failing in their duty to report violent crimes in case some Muslim gets offended. MPs, like the one I've just mentioned, talking total drivel, and at our expense we pay their wages. Attacks on white youths being dumbed down as if they never happened or don't count. Patriots all across the country having their civil liberties walked all over by the police, no doubt on orders from above. New rules in magistrate courts. When you're before them, failure to plead guilty gets you a minimum £700 costs order if you are found guilty in a higher court. That plus any victim surcharge and any sentence the court decides to hand down to you. Now those of you who live in social housing and who have suffered Section 35s, which covers antisocial behaviour, be aware local authorities can use a guilty on this charge to remove your tenancy. So remember, guilty at magistrates level could and might cost you your home. Britons today have had their rights under Magna Carta and the European Human Courts Act, the free speech, lawful assembly, and the right of freedom of expression removed. I urge you to write to your MP and to insist that questions are asked in the House of Commons. Even if that MP is a lefty, he or she are your representative in Parliament, and you have the God-given right to demand they act to defend what is your fundamental rights. So if they fail to do so, don't leave it there. Complain and report them to the Parliamentary Standards Committee. Write to your police and crime commissioner, if you still have one. Ask him why the police feel it's fitting for them to abuse the law. Write to your area chief constable and demand an answer from him or her also. So remember, whenever you receive a section, try to behave yourself. Take the details of the officer or officers concerned and report them to the IPCC. The rules which are being applied against us are not being used against the Muslims. We are suffering because of a weak, cowardly government who have run out of ideas on how to silence us and have now turned to engineering the law to suit their cowardly capitulation to Islam. Whether we want to believe it or not, the establishment has declared war on us. So when your presence is asked for on the street, whether locally or in the form of an organised demonstration, and if you still believe we are in fear of being overrun by the Islamic hordes, get yourself out there with your brothers and sisters saying, forget it. We're going nowhere. We are here till the end. Regardless of the abuses in law you use against us, we cannot be seen to weaken. We have come too far to allow others to dictate our futures. The fight goes on. No surrender.